I tried this again. Some people instantly texted me and said, like, hey, sound is working. So however, y'all need to check this out. Hopefully the sound is working now. I wanted to get on and tell you guys about our reopening. So you might be watching this on Facebook Live. Some very brilliant people are going to be stealing this video and putting it on YouTube, emailing it out, and so you might be watching this later. And so number one, I'm thankful for a brilliant team that is able to do those. Thank you, Rebecca. Is able to do those types of things, and so we just have a fantastic team, and so I appreciate that. And so I just wanted to jump on and say it here about where we've come to with. If you're on your phone and can't. I wanted to say here kind of a more detailed list of things for 3 different phases as far as reopening. We spent 10 days praying, and some of our leadership was able to meet on Monday night. We were wearing masks outside of one of us that was eating a burrito in a corner. But we were wearing masks and staying apart, and just used a whiteboard and just put everything out there. Everything we've been thinking, what I was doing over the 10 days was walking or coming home, and on my tablet after times of prayer, I just had a huge note that I was just writing down everything that I felt like God was putting on my personal heart, and then we together just started hashing it all out. And transparently, I left that meeting super frustrated and super whirl of emotions. And I think that's because, like some, I want the good of the old back, and I want the good of the now to stay. And we're not quite there yet. And that just left me frustrated. And but where I've sat on this for, 30 hours, let's say, I am very, very pleased, very happy. I do think God truly moved through a time of prayer, and through a time of gathering. And so I'm thankful for that, and I want to give you guys a roadmap to a better us. And so the reason I am calling it a roadmap to a better us is because something has been blatantly obvious through this time of pandemic. And what's been blatantly obvious to us is that we as a church need to go spiritually deeper, and that this rocked even the strongest of Christians pretty hard, and rocked us growing in our faith. We're all growing in our faith. It rocked us because I think too many of us, and the church is at fault for creating this environment, had an hour deep faith, and that we need to take advantage of this time that we have to say the church will not be built upon, a person's faith will not be built upon a 1 hour experience every single week. And so we knew that, we saw that. And so then when we think about a roadmap to a better us, when we think about a reopening plan, keeping only the experience, the weekly experience in mind, and bring us back to where we were, let's say January and February, doesn't ultimately make for a better us if we are being sincere and true to convictions. That would only bring us back to what is sexy, if we're going to be blunt and honest. And so in this, we want to put a focus back on seeing each other face to face, and then also taking steps to meet back together. And so safety, we have to tackle safety. Even if the governor was to say, hey, everybody can meet right now right now in whatever regulations, no one knows really what's going on still yet. But whatever regulations are happening, whether it's 50% capacity, whether it's, hey, you can be at full capacity, you just have to have 6 feet between everybody, yada, yada, yada. Our building does not allow us to meet safely right now. We have to value physical life. And so that is just something that we cannot rush back into. And so we have to embrace that. We have to embrace that this is going to be a summer-long project and potentially even going beyond that. And so, but we also know that there is value to meeting face-to-face, and there is value to that. And so what we are doing is we have 3 phases that we're going to roll out for the roadmap to a better us, with a focus on safely getting back together, and with a focus on growing ourselves spiritually, and with a focus on the right environments where we can start seeing some physical faces and being motivated and encouraged by that. And so let me roll out phase 1. Phase 1 will start June 13th and 14th, that weekend. And so in phase 1, so that's 2 weekends. So 2 weekends away, we're going to start phase 1. And so the big exciting thing in phase 1 is we are going to launch drive-in church on Saturday nights. That is going to be Insider. That is going to be Insider for the outdoors. That's going to be something that we put on maybe email. That's going to be something that we post in the Facebook group. It's not going to be something that we advertise to the public because it's not going to be a great experience for those that are coming in wondering what this whole church thing is. It's going to be a great experience for those that love Wellspring and simply need to see some faces of people that they love. And so what that's going to look like is it's going to look like a movie screen. And we got an AM, FM radio transmitter, I think, that came in. We have the speakers. We're going to test out the best way to launch this from an acoustic standpoint. But then we're going to have a movie screen. So this will likely be starting around 9 p.m. It will have limited bathroom use, and by bathroom use, it will be like old school, middle school, bathroom pass. Like we can't just have the building wide open and anybody can walk in and out. It's going to have to be somebody at the top of the stairs. If a family needs to go in to use the bathroom, it's going to have to be, okay, there's a family inside, and then we're going to wait for that family to leave and let somebody else enter into the building. And so we're going to start drive-in church. Again, won't be the best experience, but it's going to be the best because the people make it the best experience. And so we'll be doing that later in the evening because it will be on a movie screen, and we'll need it to be a little bit dark to have that happen. The next thing we're doing in phase 1 is we're going to be, I don't know the name of this yet. We're gonna package this and make it super cool. We're gonna launch a series of short webinars that we really want to be used by God to help us apply faith to areas of struggle right now. And so we're going to with a team of people, we're going to have a series of podcasts, YouTube, like that combo, things on mental health, things like how, digging into the Word of God and really getting the most out of it from a time of study, prayer, finances, family life, and just those are all things hitting all of us in what Christians and non-Christians. But we want to address those areas from a standpoint of faith, people of faith. How do people of faith attack these issues? Short snippets, 10 minutes, because we're all digitaled out right now. But we're going to be rolling that out here in the next few weeks. We also are going to start opening up the building for life groups. We're going to be emailing our life group leaders, and we're going to allow one evening group, one group to to take one of the evenings and be the only group allowed in the building, and to start meeting in face to face in the building, 6 feet apart, masks, things of that nature, no childcare. And then one group that would be, if they're able and want to, they could take advantage of the building during the day. So one day, basically two teams of people that can meet max per day, but we're going to start doing that. And we're also going to be emailing our life group leaders and encouraging them, if their house would allow for it, to start meeting in backyards. That's been allowed by the governor, and so we're going to push that, encourage that, to utilize the time of year in houses. And so life groups are going to start doing that. We're going to start filming the live experience on Thursdays, all in one shot, and that's going to be the same people that are involved right now are going to be the same people involved for this. We're not opening that up to really anybody in phase one. It's going to be 7 people maybe, max, I think. But we're all going to be in one room, and we're going to start in that regards to learn safety. We're going to start learning for the time, like how to get on and off the stage, how, like, things of that nature. There's going to be a learning process to that, and it's going to help us. We're also going to start offering baptism again at some point during phase one. We're gonna offer a big baptism, and right now Jessica Morgan is right now the only one that we have. But I say only one. I'm super excited, but we'll be making that something public, and we're going to dunk Jessica Morgan, and we're going to have fun with that, and we're going to invite others to join in on that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare for something for phase two for life groups. I'll get into that in a second, but you can just know that we're going to prepare something special for life groups. Our maintenance team is going to start cleaning multiple times a week, and so that's a shout out for volunteers. If you want to start volunteering again, if you want to start seeing faces while serving Jesus again, the maintenance team is a great team. I think we've changed the name of that team to, I forget. I think it's custodian team. If you want to help us clean the building, that's a great team for you. But again, you're interacting with some really great people, and so they're going to start cleaning the building multiple times a week. The last thing is for a community focus. Each phase is going to have a missional CKA focus, and so the 2 areas of focus for phase one are 2 things that we've already announced: the high school care packages. High school people that are graduating, I think we're over 60 people are going to be getting care packages. That we love you. And then we're also going to be doing the family fun package. That's not for people inside of our church. That's for the general community that's struggling as families. We're going to invite them to sign up for this. Grab a package through the well, and then go to a park and just have a family fun day. And so those are the 2 outreach things that we're going to be doing during phase one. Phase one, filming live. Life groups starting to meet face-to-face again in various ways, and some CKAs. Cleaning team, thank you, Carly. So that's the nuts and bolts of phase one. Slow process. Phase two, there are 2 big things that are happening in phase two. The benchmarks for us to get to phase two is indoor gatherings will be larger than 10 people. When we feel like we have our cleaning practices are as safe and as excellent as they can be in phase one, then we can move to phase two. When we've executed those CKAs, we can move to phase two. So the big shifts in phase two is we're going to trash life groups. We are going to completely reform life groups, and we're going to utilize study on the book of Acts to do that. When I said, "Hey, spiritually deep," we're not at this places of spiritual depth that we feel like we should be, that more of us should be, and so we identified life groups as an area that are failing endless growth and failing captivating environment in regards to the excellence of that value. They're failing simplicity in regards to they're perhaps too simple. They simplicity to the point of laziness. And so basically what we've done with life groups is is we've made it something where you can be a life group leader if you've hit certain benchmarks, and then we give you questions every week to facilitate. And so we see an area of weakness that starts with me. And so this is an opportunity for us to reform life groups, make it a better experience for you, make it a better experience for life group leaders. And so we are going to work through the book of Acts. We're not going to have life groups for this season be what they've typically been based on the sermon. I'm going to do a short teaching on a passage in Acts because we think Acts right now is very applicable, super applicable to what we are all experiencing right now. And so our life groups starting in phase 2 are going to work through the book of Acts. And when together, me, Graham, Carly, Jordan, probably maybe a life group leader or two, we're gonna have a team of people that are going to help create better questions, create questions that are going to drive us a little bit deeper, drive us to better application, drive us places that we're going to be working on a passage really throughout the week, not just a Sunday morning and perhaps a life group. And so starting in phase 2 is going to be some deep reform of the life groups as we know it. They're still at the end of all this, the roadmap to a better us when we think whatever this new normal is, when we reach there, we'll be back to sermon series, but we will have learned how to make that life group experience better for all parties involved. And so we're going to be reforming that. The live filming, we might open that. When I say might, I'm not going to be held to this. We might open it up to an additional 3 or 4 people, that being staff and elders, are now perhaps going to be invited to that. Doesn't mean they're going to come, but that circle is slowly going to grow. Again, for us to learn social distancing, for us to learn chairs, for us to learn those things, because we see other churches and what they're doing. Our building does not allow for us to do it exactly like some other church. We're not trying to be another church. We're trying to be us. And for us, this is what we feel is best. But that's a big bummer for a lot of us that are like biting to get back into the building. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some money and we're going to offer at-home viewing packages. And so that might be simply a Walmart or a ShopRite gift card. It might be us literally putting a package together of chips and salsa or donuts or things of that nature. And we're going to invite us early church like meeting in homes to take the online experience and invite people to your home and have some fun and have some food and watch the experience together. So invite your neighbors, invite your ones, invite people from church that you miss seeing. Invite, I hope, a mishmash of churched and unchurched to come back and just watch something at your house. And so we're going to start doing that as part of phase 2. These phases might take 2 or 3 weeks, but they might take 4 weeks. They might take 5 weeks. We don't know. But at some point over this summer, likely probably in the July timeframe, we're going to start at-home viewing parties. The youth group is going to start meeting as part of phase 2, but they're going to start meeting outdoors and taking advantage of outdoors. And so those are really the big portions of phase 2. And so the other big portion of phase 2 is we're going to start executing some building projects. This is a time where there's not a lot of people in our building, and as we're slowly allowed to be in our building, now is the time to tackle some building projects that are best done while there's not a lot of traffic. And so when everybody gets back, we want the best experience possible for everybody. And so we're going to start doing some building projects as well during phase 2. The other big thing in phase 2 is face-to-face prayer. We're going to be opening up the building at 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday mornings for us to get together and to pray, those that are able to and would like to. And the CKAs for phase 2 is a basketball tournament, 3-on-3. And Jordan's been doing a really phenomenal job talking to Black students, their parents, and just asking how can we be on the forefront of racial reconciliation? And through a lot of conversation, it brought Jordan and a student to a place where you just need to listen to us. You just need to interact with us. There shouldn't be this great divide. Find ways to interact with us. And so Jordan and the student were talking like, you and I just need to go and play basketball. And Jordan played basketball, Division II basketball, and the student does as well. And so they've been going to the basketball courts and shooting around and just talking, just having conversation. And so kind of from that experience, we decided, what if we just had a community tournament? We gave away a prize to the winners and had a basketball tournament. And so we're going to do a 3-on-3 basketball tournament that people from Wellspring can enter in. I'm terrible at basketball, but I enjoy it, and so I'll enter in. And so we'll play basketball and hopefully make it something with the community that the community can be involved with as well. We're going to go around Tom's River and we're going to clean up. That's the second CK that we're going to do as far as with Phase 2. We're going to highlight different areas around the town that need to be cleaned up, and we're going to send teams to that area, and they're going to clean up that area. The third CKA is, since it will likely be sometime in July, super, super hot, I have always just wanted to rent an ice cream truck, go to a park, and give out free ice cream. Not from a creepy van, but from an ice cream truck. And so we'll likely rent an ice cream truck and give away ice cream at some point in Phase 2. So that brings us to Phase 3. Phase 3 will likely be towards the end of July, middle of August, sometime in that time frame. So Phase 3, the benchmarks for Phase 3 is that indoor gatherings can be larger than 25 people. The benchmarks for Phase 4 to go to Phase 3 would be that we feel good, well, safe with our cleaning practices. Benchmarks for Phase 3 is that our CKAs from Phase 2 are completed. Benchmarks for Phase 3 are that we feel like life groups are starting to head in a better direction. Benchmark for Phase 3 is that our building projects have been executed. And so when all those things are done, we'll head to Phase 3. And Phase 3 is when we'll start inviting partners and family to our live viewing experience. We'll still be filming it probably on Thursday evenings, but we'll invite partners and families to that. But we won't be able to offer childcare yet. It will be an adult experience and/or kids that can be entertained, I guess, for lack of a better word, entertained while the viewing is going on. We'll slowly we'll have our aisle hosts start meeting. Then we'll have GE. We'll temperature check our volunteers, but we'll start having a 30-40 person gathering for church on Thursday nights, and we'll begin training our teams on how to make that the best experience and the safest experience. Life groups will be able to start meeting multiple life groups in the building with childcare. If they need to utilize our areas for life groups, a smaller number of kids, then life groups in Phase 3 can start doing that. Youth group will start meeting indoors during Phase 3. And then staff and elders, the key leadership, will meet together sometime during Phase 3 and establish the best practices, what we feel like we can safely do, what we know from the governor, what we know from the CDC, what we know from all that. And then the next phases that we'll announce at the end of, in the middle of Phase 3, is how we plan to be back in the building for the weekend experience to the public. And so the CKAs that we're going to tackle in Phase 3 is a food giveaway. A lot of the money will have dried up from the government. People will either be back to work or still out of work. And so we envision that there might be a need to feed some families, a greater need in our community. And so we're already starting conversations with how we can start collecting food to give out food. So we'll do a food giveaway at some point, and then we'll also do a family scavenger hunt. That we had good success with that. And then something that I've been wanting to do, and I feel like it's really good with everything going on, is we'll do a cornhole tournament. Teams of 2, competing with other teams of 2. Cornhole is obviously a part and whatnot. And it's a way for, personally speaking, for me to invite one of my ones to be on a cornhole tournament with me and just start interacting as kind of as a bridge, really, and hopefully they would be more comfortable with meeting, interacting in our church, because the community right now don't care if we meet or not, and so this is hopefully a way for them to just interact with us, interact with people, and say like, hey, you're not so different. Taylor Hines, who just commented, he jumps out of planes. He's going to be in the cornhole tournament, and they're going to be like, oh, if he can jump out of planes, I can go to church. So that's those are the CKAs there. And so, guys, that is our roadmap to a better us. We are going to. The highlight for me is that we're going to reform life groups. We're going to make. Oh my gosh! Yes, that is the beanbag game. And did you when I said cornhole? Did you think like we were taking kernels and like chucking it? We're going to reform our life groups and make that a better experience that drive us deeper into the Word of God and deeper into the mission of God. And that has to be accomplished through this. We will start learning ways to be safe as we meet back together again. But throughout the summer, the online experience is still going to be the best experience. There was nothing that we could come up with where we could safely meet together and have an experience, a church experience, that would be better than what we can provide online. But we also knew that we wanted people to start seeing each other face to face in the safest way possible. So I think these three phases help us to start seeing each other in a safe manner, while driving us deeper, while helping us learn and prepare to meet back together in a safe manner. And so that's the roadmap to a better us. We will have graphics here soon, kind of laying this out, and we'll be announcing when we hit the next phase what that means, what that brings. I'll be emailing life groups here soon. Phase 1 will start in 2 weekends, and we'll start with drive-in church and bring your popcorn, order a pizza from Capone's. That will be fun. And so it'll be good to see you guys as we do drive-in church. So that's the roadmap to a better us. I'm going to be jumping on to the Facebook page right now. And the Facebook page, it's not going to be nearly as long as this one. This was super detailed for you all. On the Facebook page, I'm really just going to highlight that we're taking safety very seriously, and I'm going to highlight what we're going to be doing in the community. And so that's going to be the focus there. And so I wanted to jump on here and give you guys greater details because what I say on the Facebook page is going to be incomplete purposely, and that this is the more complete look, feel, process, all of that. So, we should pray. I should pray. I'm going to pray, and even if you're watching this later on YouTube, as I pray on June 2nd or whatever it is, I invite you, as you watch this, even if it's in a few days, to pause and to pray for our church. So, God, I thank you for an opportunity to take what seems like slow steps for some, and for others what feels like giant steps. Father, this has hit us all uniquely. And at this point, there are people that may not be publicly breaking the rules, but we are, or they are, and are ready for this to be done and ready to move on. And there are others that still haven't left their house but a few times over the last few months. And so, Father, this has impacted us all differently. And we all have different wants and desires with what the church should do. And so, Father, I thank you for a leadership team that came at this from a whole bunch of different angles. Lord, and truly feel that this is the best roadmap to a better us. that is for us, Lord. It's not for another church. It's not for anybody else. It's for Wellspring. And so, Father, Lord, I pray for wisdom as when to launch into phase 2, when to launch into phase 3. Lord, I pray that our community would feel loved as we do certain community type things within the community, CKAs. Lord, I pray that our life groups would go deeper. Father, that we would grow a hunger for your word, that, Lord, what you did in the early church, how we see you erupt the early church, Lord, who didn't have a building to meet in. Lord, would that motivate, challenge, and bring us deeper? Lord, would we learn how to run a better life group experience? How to invest better into our life group leaders? How to invest better into our life group participants? Lord, I pray for wisdom, and I pray for excitement, Lord. One of the things I said to our team is, this is so stressful. When I'm stressed, I lose sight of fun. And so, Lord, an ice cream truck, a basketball tournament, a cornhole tournament, with beanbags, not literal corn. Lord, I pray it's fun. Lord, I pray that we have an element of fun, Lord, that this is an exciting summer, not a summer that's a huge downer. Would we be on the forefront of, Lord, living a life to its fullest? Lord, we're not called to live boring lives. We're called to live full lives, and we can have fun while living a full life. So, Father, I pray that this summer is fun and exciting, because you are fun and you are exciting and you are good. We love you, Jesus, in your name. Amen. Cool. I love you guys, and I'm excited to see more and more of your faces over the coming months, your physical faces. All right. Peace, guys. Bye.